Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. And in this video, I'll be previewing the final of this ICC Champions Trophy between India and New Zealand. Let's get into this preview. Starting off with India, I'm sure if everyone is fit, there will be an unchanged 11 from their previous two matches. Now, the reason why I'm saying everyone is fit is because Hardik Pandya, in the closing stages of the first semi-final, he looked as if he picked up an injury. I don't know the extent of it, and there's not been an update since then. And India would certainly want him to play because of the match winner that he is, with especially bat in hand. With the ball, he's provided timely breakthroughs. As I've said at the start, has he been someone who's been potent with a new ball despite him bowling alongside Shami? No. But with the value that he provides to the side, the balance that he provides to the side, definitely they'd want Hardik Pandya to be fit. I think all the Indian fans as well would want him to be fit. And if he isn't fit, now I'll first narrate the 11 if everyone is fit. That is Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill to open the batting. Virat Kohli 3, Shreyas Iyer 4, KL Rahul 5, Hardik Pandya 6, Akshar Patel number 7, Ravindra Jadeja number 8, Kuldeep Yadav 9, Mohammad Shami 10, and Varun Chakravarti at number 11. Now, if Hardik Pandya isn't fit, looking at the options on the bench, Rishabh Pant would be a purely batting option, and you play him as a batsman since Hardik Pandya is only bowling 5 overs per innings. Then there's Washington Sundar, who can bat and bowl. Now, can he play the role that Hardik Pandya can play with a bat? I don't know, despite he's a very good batsman. And with a bowl, if Hardik Pandya is bowling 5 overs as a second seamer, is Washington going to bowl more than that when he be the 5th spinner in the squad? Is he going to add too much? I don't think so. Then you've got Harshit Rana or Arshdeep Singh. Now, if they're going to play a frontline seamer, I think they should play Arshdeep. And what they could think is, Jadeja's not getting batting. He's good enough to perform in these matches. Then you've got Jadeja to bat at 7. And whatever you get from the tail, you get. But you can compensate with that 4. You've got Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Shami, a potent striking combination with the new ball. Then you've got the 4 spinners. So they would be hoping that Hardik Pandya is fit because, as I've said before, apart from Varun Chakravarti in that one match versus New Zealand in Dubai, which spinner has taken more than 2 wickets in an innings in this tournament at this venue? No one. And you saw a more typical performance from Varun Chakravarti, 2 for 49 against a straight 80 bowled very well, but is it a case where spinners go beyond that in Dubai apart from keeping the runs down? They don't. And you saw the one match where he ran through the opposition they'll face at this venue. So because of that, India would want Hardik Pandya to bowl the overs that he bowls with a new ball so they can delay the entry point of spin. They'll still be introducing spin earlier, but they'd still want Hardik Pandya to take the new ball alongside Shami so they can look to use their 40 overs of spin slightly later. So I hope that Hardik Pandya is fit, and he certainly would give the luxury that this side would need, giving the options they've got on the bench as well, where the balance will change if he isn't fit. But that's the only point of precariousness regarding India. I think this team looks very good to win this trophy. Now on New Zealand, where I talked about an injury concern from Indian perspective, and they've also got an injury concern because Matt Henry, in the latter stage of the second semi-final, he picked up an injury. And with him in the side, there'll be an unchanged 11, where the Will Young, Rachin Ravindra to open the batting, Kane Williamson number 3, Tom Latham 4, Darryl Mitchell 5, Glenn Phillips 6, Michael Bracewell 7, Mitchell Santner 8, Kyle Jamieson 9, Matt Henry 10, and Will O'Rourke at number 11. Now, with Matt Henry not present, unlike for India, it won't change the balance of the side, but you've got Jacob Duffy and Nathan Smith, who are they're seam bowlers, yes, but they're inexperienced. Can you compare them with the class of Matt Henry? No, you can't. And I mentioned in the previous video that Kyle Jamieson is a single-phase bowler. And you saw, I'll say this again, in that second semi-final, it got to the closest that their bowling template would be broken, because the way this side looks to operate is dominate the first 40 overs, and then whatever happens at the end, right, death bowling is not our strongest suit, even with Matt Henry in the side. And how often in ODIs do you see a side doing well in the first 40 overs of the ball and then losing their match because they don't go on the last 10? Very rarely. So they were looking to use Kyle Jamieson's proficiency with the new ball up front for 5 overs. Then you can get whatever you can get from him. Then you got Matt Henry and Bo Rock. Now, against South Africa, yes, the century David Miller scored was a meaningless one. However, Kyle Jamieson would have struggled even if that match was up for grabs from a South African perspective at that point in time, because he doesn't have the tricks in his armory to bowl to death. He doesn't have a quick Yorker, for example. So I wasn't surprised that he went for runs then. And in this case, it would be a mid to low scoring match. So they wouldn't have to worry about things too much from that point of view, not only for Kyle Jamieson, but for someone like a Tom Latham, where I'd said in the previous match, if Glenn Phillips hadn't scored the 49, you've got Daryl Mitchell, who takes a bit of time before he unleashes. He scored 49 in that match as well. Then Tom Latham's not a power hitter, Michael Bracewell's not a power hitter, and Mitchell Santner's not a power hitter. So they're batting Tom Latham at 5. Is he suitable to bat at 5 in a high-scoring venue? No. So in this case, they'll still bat at 5. However, the roadmap is different, where you can look to get around that 280 score with him maneuvering the spinners rather than having to go at an expansive rate when he's not a power hitter. So that would be on the side, and they would. I hope both teams field their full strength 11s, because they're able to field their full strength 11s because they are deserving finalists, and I think with how well that these two teams have played in this competition thus far, I think that it would be the correct justice if they are able to field their full strength 11 for this fight. And now for comparing the 11s of both sides per the metrics at this venue. Now, I've said in the videos covering the third group match for these two sides in Dubai that in Dubai, you've got to get to around that 52 for 1 mark, so not losing too many wickets and not getting bogged down. For India, looking at the top 4, you've got Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, and for New Zealand, you've got Wu Young, Rachin Ravindra, Kane Williamson, and Tom Latham. You're comparing Rohit Sharma and Wu Young. Wu Young, after the century against Pakistan, hasn't got that big score. Rohit Sharma is giving starts to his team, but he also not got that big score. But when you're comparing those names in a pressure situation, I will back Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill and Rachin Ravindra are both in great confidence. Shubman Gill hasn't scored many in the last 2 matches, but with how well he's done before that, I don't think you can say too much about that. Rachin Ravindra, since he's returned from injury, has been very good. Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson are also in good confidence with their recent scores. And then you got Shreyas Iyer versus Tom Latham, where Shreyas Iyer, I've said before the ODI World Cup as well that he can be a match winner for India in the middle overs if he's used correctly, and we've seen since then, when he has been used correctly, how well he's done. Tom Latham is a good player, but is he someone who is going to make sure you don't get bogged down against a spin, even though he's a good player at spin? I think Shreyas Iyer would definitely be more imposing at the greater confidence levels, but I'd still say, if you're comparing the top 4s, I said the same in the preview of their third group match in Dubai, where they've both got the ability to get to that 52 for 1 without taking too much risk. So I'd say it's equal there. Then in the middle overs, the middle orders got to not get bogged down versus spin. For India, you got KL Rahul, Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja. For New Zealand, you've got Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips, Michael Bracewell, Mitchell Santner. Now, for India, as I mentioned before this segment, they bat until 8, and in relation to what I'd said about New Zealand and with how they fared in their semi-final versus South Africa, if Glenn Phillips hadn't scored that 49, they would have got well less than what they got. And with the class of the Indian spinners, and when you're comparing these two batting lineups, you've got Tom Latham isn't a power hitter, Michael Bracewell isn't a power hitter, Mitchell Santner isn't a power hitter. Not only power hitters, you've got Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja compared with Michael Bracewell, Mitchell Santner with the bat. Certainly you'd back the Indian combination. And that's why I feel India have got a big advantage, a big edge as far as this middle order comparison is concerned. And now, as far as the spinners are concerned, you've got to keep the economy rate down in the middle overs. For India, you've got Akshar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti. For New Zealand, you've got Michael Bracewell, Mitchell Santner, Glenn Phillips, Rachin Ravindra. Now, both these sets of bowlers can keep the runs down the middle phase. However, the Indian spinners have got that attacking gear, which you saw from Varun Chakravarti in that third group match. And that's why I would feel that India have certainly got an edge in that regard. And now fast bowling. I've said this apart from the Australia match where I'd said the class of Shami trumps what Australia have got, and we saw that. If Matt Henry is fit, especially, you've got Matt Henry, Kyle Jamieson, Will O'Rourke. That definitely is a more potent new ball combination than what India got, because you've got Mohammad Shami, then Hardik Pandya is playing a second fiddle role. He's not necessarily striking up front. He's bowling 5 overs, and then the spinners come in after he bowls. Now, if Matt Henry isn't fit, you've got Jacob Duffy or Nathan Smith, and certainly that potency would go down in terms of the experience levels also, because yes, Kyle Jamieson is bowling well up front. Will O'Rourke is a very good prospect. He's been bowling well. When he went for runs in the previous match, it's down to an experience on a high-scoring venue. This venue is not that. So I'd still say with Matt Henry available, New Zealand have got an edge in that regard, and I hope these two sides can field their full strength 11s. But apart from that, India have got the edge in the other metrics, so I'm expecting India to win this final and lift the Champions Trophy. Let's see what happens. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?